Thank you for still being with us, and let me try this, see if it starts. So, we try to do the ambitious here. Let's reframe success. I was born and raised in Jakarta. I came from a middle income family, neither rich nor poor. And I remember just going through my high school playing football or soccer all the time, including during exams. So I don't recommend that for you all. And my mother, she sold her wedding jewelries to be able to send me abroad. So that is truly a debt that I could never repay. And going abroad to the United States was the first time, for college, was the first time I ever went abroad. So arriving there, I looked for jobs while doing the university. My first job was flipping burgers. Yeah, amazing, yeah? The coincidence. Flipping burgers for $4 an hour. I was having a good time. I remember all the condiments on each type of burgers, the junior bacon cheeseburger, the spicy chicken burger, the baked potato with broccoli. That one was not my favorite. But above all, I recall one of my favorite things is that the 50% off every time I had meals over there. So after flipping burgers, I went on training my arms, doing ice cream, serving ice cream in the school cafeteria for $6 an hour. That was quite a training, building my arm muscle. After that, then I started tutoring math and accounting for $10 an hour. Success for me back then was very simple. Study hard, pay the bills, and try to get a good job offer that is well paying. And of course, as in many thousands of people also, we want to get a sponsorship for US permanent residency or green card. That's a dream of people, a lot of people who come from Indonesia, right? So thank God, I got blessed with having secured that. I got a good job. It was a very nice job, enabled me to travel around to around US, to UK, to Ireland, to Hungary, developing systems and implementations. It was very, very fun. I did get sponsorship from the company, so I got the US permanent residency. So it seemed like from on paper, I am living the success path. But then I started thinking about, I felt called to go back home. I'm Indonesian, I could speak Indonesian, I know the Indonesian culture, I love the people, I feel like I am Indonesian. I learned a lot from the US, I can bring a lot back home. I want to be participating in Indonesia's growth trajectory and the big opportunities here. I like rendang and nasi goreng above all, right? And penyet also. So we made the drastic decisions to go back home, me and my wife. I got married in the States. When we went back home, against my mother's counsel and a lot of other people. So then things starts to get more complicated. What does success mean in life? Especially when we started to have families, started to have kids, right? What do we want to teach our kids about what success is? So that is a question worth pondering. And let's go back to the dictionary. The dictionary says that success is the accomplishments of an aim or purpose, but always these things: money, wealth, fame, or status. And that's something that people chase. It's all about striving, getting more, and collecting, and make sure it can make your future secure. And the assumption is that when you get these, you'll be happy. So let's talk about wealth and money. Wealth and money, or money, for our purpose we define wealth as money here. Money definitely makes the world go round. It's an important thing. With money, we buy ourselves good food, good traveling, go to malls like this, a nice mall like this, transportation from one place to another, or we buy more important stuff like healthcare when you get sick, medicines, good education. So money is definitely important. But money, when we start working for money, and once we start exceeding the minimum that we need, when we start exceeding what we want, then money has these elusive traits, these interesting, almost like illusion, that the more you get, you will always be more happy. That's the thing about money. And generally, we start to think that money should represent something that we are looking for more. At least two things I can think of. First is money can represent options. You can get more and more options. You can buy better. You can go to better schools. You can buy better burgers. You can buy better food, right? Who doesn't want options? So it's a thinking that is very logical. But the problem with that is our entire current consumeristic system is based on you need to buy more and more and more. There's always better and better and better. Where does it stop? That's something that we need to reflect on. Where does it stop? Because when you start going into buying better and better and better, and from my observations, looking around, once you start exceeding what you need and what you want, and then having more doesn't necessarily translate to more freedom or to more satisfaction. Actually, it translates sometimes to more anxiety. It translates to more, comparison game with others. So that's the illusion with money and wealth that we need to be careful of. The second part is generally people, when they talk about money and wealth, they always think about it as the source of their security, right? To a certain minimum degree, yes, we need to have that bank deposit for emergency time. But again, after a certain limit, there's nothing on the planet that can guarantee your full security. You can suddenly fall ill. Warehouse suddenly got burned. Business suddenly go bankrupt. Economy suddenly tanked. So many things that life is like a wheel. It's a surprise what it can throw at you. So the image that you can have unlimited money to secure yourself unlimitedly, again, is deceptive. So we need to be careful with that. So there's an interesting research that you might want to check here. There are two that I put here. One is by Nobel Prize winning Kahneman, who basically asked themselves, what is the minimum money or income that is sufficient, that can translate to your satisfaction and happiness? And their finding is that they infer that beyond $70,000 a year, there's no improvement whatever in any of the three measures of emotional well-being. It's a very interesting research that was done in 2010. Another research in 2018, they look into more countries around the world, not just European, US, but Africa, Asia countries. What is that number, that magic number that people will have enough? And increasingly from that number, the marginal satisfaction is actually already very minimum. And that number is even lower. Some says 95,000, but a lot is hovering between 60,000, 75,000 a year for emotional well-being. But then there's another interesting finding that says where if people made more money past the point of satiation, which is satisfied, their life evaluation actually got worse. When they look back, they feel like, wow, they're less satisfied about things once they exceed certain things. The researchers suggest that it's actually what makes people miserable, the richer they are once they pass certain points, is that the costs associated with the higher income, because generally then it taxes you. This is the deceptive and the be careful part of the money. It taxes you. You need to really work hard, or you need to really be so stressful because it's so high intensity or high pressure situation. So that cost can catch you off guard. So that's what we need to be careful. Fame, social status. This is another interesting part. It's always nice to be invited to speak, to be invited to a certain exclusive club, to hear our names in conversations, to see our names written in articles and everything. It always feels good. That's natural and that's very human. But the thing is, in order for us to be famous, we need collaboration and approval of others. And people nowadays are increasingly getting fickle and fickle. They're more fickle, and they're also imperfect humans, right? And social media will exacerbate this. There's always a comparison game. There's always a stress about maintaining your level of fame. So it's a race that seemingly the more you are up front, the more you need to run harder because you need to maintain your fame. That is a race that is, again, I see maybe a dead end. And it translates to constant anxiety, constant worry, constant, pursuing those likes and hearts for your profile, constant nagging feeling of anxieties. It's not a good sign. I put here the interview with Tesla, another famous person with Elon, right, at SpaceX, where in many interviews he looked very, very tired and he was to the point of crying. All this fame, all these achievements, amazing achievement. He's one of the smartest men alive, probably, that we have today. But it's costly. It's costing him his health, his family, and everything. So count the cost wisely. That's the trick with fame and status. And so let's move on then. Love this phrase, right? Our greatest fear should not be of failure in life, but of succeeding in things in life that don't really matter. It was said by Dwight L. Moody, but then Francis Chan said it better way. Succeeding in life on things that don't matter. Wow, that will hit you like a truck. Yes, you can be successful in things that don't matter. So my invitation is, let's reframe success. If we go by that quote, that means that we want to be successful in things that matter. We want to be successful in ways that is completely in line with who we are, with our uniqueness, with what we're able to do, with our communities, how we can really bring good to our communities. We want to be successful in a way that is uniquely our path, that we don't get trapped in a comparison game. We want to be successful in a way that is satisfying instead of striving and create more hunger. I'm not talking about hunger to perform. It's all very natural, but I'm talking about hunger that is really getting pulled into the deception and direction. So 3 things I want to share tonight to do that, to achieve that success. One is fully realizing your potential, talents, and skills. Don't be lazy. Take as much experience as possible. Understand yourself. There's only one you. If you look to your left and right now, no need to compare. No need to compare, because when you compare, you're using the scorecard of the other person. That's not even fair. Or you also can be not fair. You look down on others, you're using your scorecard on him or her. No need to compare. There's only one you. So seek who that person is. Seek what that person likes, what that person really is talented of. Everybody got some strength and limitation that they need to work on, continue to build, so that you can blossom. It's one of the most exciting things to really find your own uniqueness and find your place. 2, having deep, meaningful relationships. Deep, meaningful relationships. In all my journey, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I do if I don't have, first of all, my beloved wife, my children, all my close journeymen, I call them. So develop relationships. This can be more challenging than it sounds, because the world is more connected than ever, but it's more fragmented than ever. People misunderstood and hate each other all the time. The world has more chat applications than ever, but we cannot have healthy relationships. The world has all kinds of social media platform, but we use it to put down others in order to try to lift ourselves up. It's basically not easy to develop relationships. You need to be vulnerable, open yourself up, invest it, but it's worth it. It's going to grow you. It's going to grow you holistically. It's going to enable you to achieve a different level of satisfaction and achievement in life. Next, beyond I, and if you look into the culture, right, most happiness, achievements, and fulfilling life philosophy always involve other people. Always involve other people. Yeah, I like to play video games too. When I play, maybe I'll play alone, but then even when playing, it's almost more fun to play with others, right? And in Swedish, we know fika, we know hik, where people really get together and really comfortably play together or hang out together or have slow down together. In Japanese, there's this concept of ikigai where you find your purpose in the context how you build up your communities, how you make things better, and then you join social group. In USA, when the French social analyst went to the United States during the early days, he was so amazed by how much the social capital, the civic society and activities in the US is amazing. Indonesia, we know gotong royong, we always get together. We know musyawarah, we always eat together. And as Indonesian, every time we're done after each party, we always move every 5 meters and stop for another 10 minutes to chat, right? We need each other. Third, contributing and being relevant to communities around us. There's interesting research in Japanese in Okinawa, one of the longest running research from 1975. They are looking and asking, hey, how come in these 5 blue zones in the world, there have more number of older people, more than 100 centenarian, more than 100 years old, and they are not like frail and sick. They're healthy, they walk around, they're energized, they hang out, they connect together. Why? In Japan, they have more of those people than any other place in the world. And then within Japan, Okinawa, this one place, they have double almost than other people, you know, and they all look happy with good quality of life, more than 100 years old. Why? And apparently they see at least there's these 6 things: eat well, exercise, and then there's this, a lot of this, at least half, is about other center. It's about being part of the society. It's about maintaining your relevance. All these older people are very happy to be able to connect it still in the villages, connect with the young people, giving advice to the younger people, and then these people also very happy to hang out, to together have parties still, instead of watching TV alone. That's what translates to longevity and a high quality of life. So contribute, seek to contribute and be relevant in the society. So when we talk about contribution, I was try to apply those things in my own life, right? And so never say no to, okay, so why does this keep moving forward? Sorry. I never say no. When I came back from the States, really worked on a lot of stuff. I became a consultant for management consulting companies and consult everywhere, but also on the sides, really, as an idealist, I look for who are the good leaders on the next Indonesia and everything. And I was privileged when I saw good people want to run, good people wants to take on bigger and bigger roles. And I was privileged to really witness how these very capable leaders who don't compare themselves and they're very unique, and which is, at that time, Jokowi was still Wali Kota in Solo, and then Ahok was still in DPRRI. So I was privileged to really came with them and met and witnessed these 2 leaders talking about how they can serve more and more people in their lives in such a specific fashion that is so different than many other leaders I've met in my life. And then we were involved, and it was so exciting. And then before long, it was proven that they built 360 billion rupiah Simpang Susun Semanggi with 0 public budget. That is such an amazing achievement that they've done, and apparently it was record-breaking. It's never been done in Indonesia, and it started a movement that, hey, we can do more, and we can take on more roles in our lives. And next is really Green Hope, just a little bit. It's a big problem with plastic. This is another thing that I'm doing. Basically, microplastics found everywhere in placenta and newborns. So we try to create social enterprise that basically using our own patented technology. What if we can locally source the local material, in this case is tapioca, and we actually, has 30% less carbon, that biodegrades at the end of life, that can bring social impact positive to the farmers. So that's what we are doing in Green Hope. We've got many different applications. We are working with 150 factories across the 10 countries in the world. It's very exciting job that I do that expand me every day. And this actually brought us everywhere, including national planting using the tapioca seedling bags. And it was very successful, and it shows that Indonesia can do it, and Indonesia has the wherewithal to actually do it. So in closure, let's reframe success. Let's go deeper. Let's go beyond. Let's think about three things at least. Living your fullest uniqueness and potential, having meaningful relationships in your life, and contributing and being relevant to your communities. And you achieving your best will benefit your friends, families, and the world that need you very, very much, especially the youth here. Thank you so much.